Today, I'm taking my very first step into automation using n8n. You're coming with me. I'm just starting out with n8n. I've never built a full automation before, but today I'm tackling something simple yet practical. The goal is this: student submits their name and class using a form. That data gets pushed into Airtable. That's it. But what makes it cool is that it's not just a one-time project, laying a foundation for future learning for something bigger. Now I've spun up n8n locally using Docker because the cloud version limits your workflow executions unless you pay for it. Running locally means there's no limit. So as you can see, this is my container for running n8n, and here's my local instance. First, we'll create a form by clicking starting from scratch. Of course, we'll select on form submission as we want to create a form. Give it a name called student form. We'll add form element. First element would of course be named name. We'll leave it as text type as our element type. Mark it as required. Another form element, and we'll name this as class. This time we want a drop-down list as our element type. We'll have 3 different classes that the students will be sorted into, namely the green class, the blue class, and the red class. We'll mark this as a required field too. Now let's test this. We'll press execute step. As you can see, a form pops up, and let's put in some test data. David in class green. Let's submit. As you can see, it's submitted successfully, and in the output column you can see name David class green. Perfect. Now here's something I nearly missed, which is time zone. This form logs everything in UTC. Don't forget to update that in your workflow settings, which we'll do now. Let's go into these 3 dots here, go to settings, and put your time zone as your local time zone. For me, that's Sydney. Next, we want to get the data into Airtable. So let's create an Airtable node. Like create a record because we want a record to be created. As you can see, I've previously paired some credentials, but let's create a new one. You need the scope for your token. So data records write, schema read. Let's go to Airtable. Once you created an account, this is what you'll be seeing. We'll create a new Airtable record. We'll name our base n8n class base and table 1. We'll then delete all these columns as well. And now we have a table with just 2 fields. Name, let's edit this to a single line text of class. Save. We'll need to link it up with n8n. So we'll head to Builder Hub now and create a token. Let's name this n8n class token. And under scope, you'll see something very familiar. As you may recall, these are the scopes that we need to add into our token, which is data records write and schema bases read. Let's add those in. Finally, we'll add a base, which is the base that we just created. Create token, copy, and then we'll put it into n8n. Save, and our credentials has been created successfully. Next, we'll need to map all the data to the table. So our resource would be record, operation is create, base we'll select from the list, which is our table that's named n8n class base. This is correct. We'll select table 1, and then we'll map these values for name and class. So once mapped, we'll test this out by clicking execute step, and we're successful. As you can see, the data has been created. Let's check Airtable, and as you can see, David and green record is in Airtable now. Let's test this from end to end. Press execute workflow. Let's put Maria in class red. We hit submit, and as you can see, the workflow has been executed successfully, and this is the log. If we want to check the log, we can head into the node itself, and you can see form mode is test, and we have Maria in red being created. Going back to Airtable, we can see Maria in red. That's it. Now we have another question. What if we want others to access this form? All we have to do is to hit this toggle. As you can see, you can now make calls to your production form URL. We go into our node here for our form node, copy this production URL, and we can paste it in any browser. As you can see, we can reach our production form. Let's test this out. In gem, which is in class blue. Submit. We can't see it within our workflow, but what we can do is go into executions and click on the latest run. As you can see, in our latest run, we have gem from in class blue. We click into the node, we can see form mode being production. Perfect. Go into Airtable, you can see gem in class blue. Now this is just day one of my automation journey, but that tiny workflow, it already saved me time and taught me how to connect systems with zero code. I've got plans what to do next, like conditional logic, integrating with LLMs, or auto-sending updates. But for now, I'm glad that this first block is in place. If you're learning n8n too, I'd love to connect. Let me know in the comments, or feel free to drop me a message.